I'm beginning to feel like a rap bot. All my people from the front to the back nod. Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box? They said I rap like a robot, so call me rap bot. But for me to rap like a computer must be in my genes. I got a laptop in my back pocket.
Hey guys, in this video we are going to be doing something really fun. We are going to be building a bot which will rap an Eminem song. So in this case I have it set up to rap Rap God by Eminem, but you can literally use this for absolutely any song. So you can enter any artist name, any song name, and the gender, male or female, and then it will get the lyrics and the instrumental of the song, and it will rap or sing over the song. So we use a API service over here, lyrics .ovh, and we use the service to get the lyrics of the song via API call. So I'll be showing you how to do that. So that's what happens in this section of the bot over here. We do a HTTP request to do an API call. We then get the lyrics of the song. From there we open YouTube and we play the instrumental of the song. And then from there we use a speech to text synthesizer to basically convert the text to speech so the robot can talk over the instrumental music. What I also did is I replaced over here the word God with bot, so it's actually singing a rap bot. I just thought that was quite funny since it's a bot singing the lyrics, and also the lyrics of Eminem relate because it says here, where is it? It says, I'm beginning to feel like a rap bot, all my people in the front of the back nod. Now I think their arms are long enough to slap box. They said I rap like a robot, so call me a rap bot. But for me to rap like a computer must be in my genes. I got a laptop in my back pocket. So I thought those lyrics were really relevant to this bot singing. So I just thought that was quite funny. So that's why I changed it to rap bot. Let's demo this and let's watch it sing or rap.
You are just what the doc ordered. I'm beginning to feel like a rap bot. All my people from the front to the back nod. Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box? They said I rap like a robot, so call me rap bot. But for me to rap like a computer must be in my genes. I got a laptop in my back pocket. My pen will go off when I have cock it. Got a fat knot from that rap prophet.
So I'll just stop it there. But yeah, that is basically it. So it uses text to speech to convert the lyrics into speech, and then it plays it over the instrumental. And the cool thing is it works with absolutely any artist or song. So let me just close YouTube here, and let's change the artist. Let's say, I don't know, let's go Elvis Presley, and the song, let's go with Hound Dog. Ain't nothing but a hound dog. All right, let's play. It's also male voice, so we can keep it as that. Let's watch this go.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit. And you ain't no friend of mine. When they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lot. Yeah, they said you was high class. Well, that was just a lot. Yeah, you ain't never caught a rabbit. And you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time.
So that is our demo. So yeah, it's a pretty silly bot. I can't think of any real world applications to this besides, I guess it's just funny, and it's pretty cool to learn how to do API requests, how to work with JSON file formats, and also how to do text to speech. So there's a lot to learn in this bot. So let me get into it and I'll show you how to build this bot. Great, so let's get started. I'm going to just close this existing file. Let me also close our YouTube, and I'm going to open UiPath Studio. So we will be starting from scratch with this bot, and let's think of a cool name. Let's call it maybe let's call it Rapbot. All right, since the song it's singing is Rapbot. So Rapbot, there you go. And I'll save this in my D drive, in my robots folder. Cool. Description, bot that raps an Eminem song. Create. So open main workflow. And we can start off with a sequence, all right? And I'll just call the sequence main. So this is our main sequence. Then we are going to need to be using this API service, all right? So we can see here, this is the API URL. So it's HTTPS, the protocol, then api.lyrics.ovh/version1/ and then you can see here, it's the literal name of the singer and the literal name of the song, the artist and the title. So you might be confused. You might think these are actual parameters, but they're not. Parameters start with a question mark, and then it'll be something like artist equals Coldplay, title equals Adventures of a Lifetime, with an ampersand in between. But in our case, or in this case, the artist and the title is in the URL of the API call itself. It's actual pages you can see there. So we'll just need to mimic this this API call. All right, so to do API calls in UiPath, we need to install a package called the UiPath Web Activities. So I'll just come to all packages and we can search for web. Let's see if it comes up. There it is, UiPath Web Activities. We can click install and click save. And the activity we want from this package is called HTTP request. All right, this allows you to do HTTP API calls, all right, with REST APIs. So let me search HTTP. There it is, HTTP request. Don't get confused with the orchestrator one. We want this one, HTTP request. So I'll drag that in. And you can see here it asks us for the endpoint. So the endpoint would be this entire thing over here. Right, and timeout, it is a get call, because you can see here it says get. So we're using the get call, not the post or any of the others. Accept response as any, that's fine. So usually you would put your parameters here for title and artist, but like I said earlier, this is a different type of URL where the parameters are in the API URL themselves. All right, and authentication, there's no authentication required for this one. This is a very simple one, so we can just click OK. And then let's go and come to the result over here. So I'm going to create a variable, Control K, and let's call this, let's say API output. Enter. All right, and the API output is of string type. So let's try test this out and see if it's working. So I'm going to use a write line, and I'm going to output our API output. So the singer and the artist, or the song, so the singer is Coldplay, and then it's Adventures of a Lifetime, the name of the song. So let's try run this and see if it gets us the lyrics. Yes, it does. So here's our output, and we can see it's in JSON format with the two squiggly brackets or the braces. Then it says lyrics, colon, and then it's got the actual lyrics of the song. So that's great. That's working just as we expected. So let's now come here and replace these with variables for the artist and the song. So you can either use an input dialog, or you can simply use a assign. So I'm just going to use an assign for this case, and I'm going to create a variable called artist, and I'm going to write for the artist. So this is where you can change it to whatever you want. I'm going to write Eminem, and let's drag another assign, Control K. This is the song, and the name of the song is going to be Rap God by Eminem. Cool, so I'll just rename these to assign artist name, then assign song name. Then in our HTTP request, we can open this up in our expression editor, and we can replace this Coldplay with the artist variable. So I'll put double quotes, 2 pluses, and in between the pluses is our song. And then we'll keep our literal /. I will delete Adventures of a Lifetime plus, and then put our song, just like that. So I believe that should work. Yes, it should work, and it does work even if there's spaces inside the call, so that's fine. All right, and oh, I think I made a mistake. That's supposed to be artist, control space, artist, and then song. Cool, so that looks fine to me, so I'll click OK. So maybe it's good to just test this, see if it gives us Eminem's lyrics now instead of Coldplay. And it looked like it worked. I don't know why it's not showing us the... Oh, there it is. I just needed to scroll up a bit. And yeah, this is the lyrics to Rap God. So that's great. So that's working. So now what we want to do is we want to extract just the lyrics. And we can see here it's in JSON format with the braces, and it says lyrics in quotation marks and then colon. So I'm going to show you how we can reference the lyrics to only pull the data over here. You could also use regex or regex, regular expressions, to basically find any text after lyrics colon, but there's a much easier way to do it, and that's by using deserialized JSON. So I'm going to come to our activities. I'm going to search JSON, and here there's an activity called deserialized JSON. Right, sometimes there's an array of JSONs that then you'd use this activity, but in our case it's just a single JSON format. So I'll drag that in over here, and the JSON string, right, so this is now the input. Our input in this case is going to be the output of our API call, which is API output. So I'll come here and put API output, and then we can keep our type argument to newtonsoft.json.link.jobject. So this is the output's going to be a JSON object. So I'll click Control K, and I'll call this JSON output. Right, and we can see here that it is a JObject data type. So that's a JSON data type. So we just converted it from string into JSON. All right, even though over here it looks like it's in JSON, this is actually a string because that's how it got written to the output panel. So in order for it to be a literal or an actual JSON format, we need to use this deserialized JSON activity. So then in order to access our lyrics from that, you do it the same way you'd access, say, a column value from a data table. So you'd simply put our JSON output variable, 2 round brackets, and inside here we'd put the name of the object we are trying to reference from the JSON object. So in our case, it's lyrics. And I just want to make sure if it is a capital L and not a lowercase l. So it is actually a lowercase l, as you can see there. So this is case sensitive. It's important to be written exactly the same as it is in the JSON output. So we're getting an error here. That's just because we need to convert this back to string so we can write it to our output panel with the right line activity. Great. So let me try and run this and see if it only gives us the lyrics and excludes this JSON formatting with this word lyrics over there. So let me run that. There you go. There is just the lyrics, as you can see. So that's exactly how we wanted it to look. So that's perfect. So now that we have that, replace some of the lyrics. The song's called Rap God, but we wanted to say Rap Bot. All right, so I'm going to use a replace. So I can use a assign activity with the replace method. So first let's just assign maybe this entire expression to a variable. So I'll copy that, paste it here, and then let's create a new variable saying song lyrics. So song lyrics should also be a string, Let's make sure it is. Song lyrics is a string. Yes, it is. And I'm just going to come here, assign song lyrics. Then we can use another sign to replace God with bot. So song lyrics is equal to song lyrics dot replace God. And we're replacing the word God with the word bot. So now that we've assigned, or we've replaced word God with bot, so now it'll sing rap bot instead of rap God. So basically, to create the speech synthesizer, we have to create a new variable, and in the main sequence I'll create a variable and I'll call this let's call it synth for synthesizer. What we need to do is we need to come to our imports panel and we need to import system.speech, but looking here, it doesn't look like it actually installed it, which is a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this and I'm going to hard code it into the XAML file itself. So I'm going to close here, don't save, and I'm going to right click on this main XAML and I'm going to say open with notepad. All right, and I'm going to scroll down. All of these are the libraries. All right, so over here I'm going to just replace all of that with system.speech. Right, and I'm going to save this XAML file, close that, and reopen it, but this time in UiPath, not as a notepad. And for our synth, we want this to be, let's browse for type, and let's search for speech synthesizer. There it is, speech synthesizer, and it's under the system.speech.synthesis library or namespace. We can double click that, and over here by the default I want to create a new speech synthesizer. So I'm going to say new space speech synthesizer. There it is, that method over there, that class. Click enter, and there we have it. So now this variable will now create a new speech synthesizer. All right, so now that we have that, what we can do is I'm just going to create a new sequence over here. I'm just going to call this text to speech, and inside here I'm going to use an assign, and we want to assign the synth dot and then the volume. All right, so the volume, this is going to set the volume of the voice of the bot. All right, so we can set it to anything between 0 and 100. So I'm going to set it to 100, so it's on its loudest. Right, then I'm going to assign the synth dot rate. Now the rate is the speed of the bot, how fast it talks. So this can range between -10 and +10, where normal speed is 0. So I'm going to set it to maybe 3, because the Rap God song by Eminem is quite fast. So I'll just set it to 3 because it's faster than normal talking. And then next we want to use an invoke activity. So we can come to invoke method, drag that in. So the invoke method is basically going to select the voice we want to use. So this depends on the voice that is installed on your machine. All right, so target object, we're going to select the same variable synth, and the method name, we are going to type in select voice. All right, this is the same as basically doing this. I'm just going to use a right line. So it's like saying synth dot select voice. There is select voice, and then inside the select voice you put brackets, and then you can put your parameter over here. Right, we still have an error here, and this is because we need to add a parameter. And for the parameter, we can come here and we can type in Microsoft David desktop, and then click OK. So this will now use a male voice. So if you're wondering where that comes from, if you go to your settings of your PC, you go to time and language, then you go to speech, and over here you say choose a voice, and then you can see there's Microsoft David, Microsoft Zira, and Microsoft Mark. So these are the 3 installed on my machine at the moment. If you don't have it, you can come to over here where it says manage voices. You can click add voice. You can search for your language, so it would be English, and then I went English USA, but I believe it's already installed. That's why it's already showing there, and then it'll install it onto your computer. So let's see, there's also Microsoft Zira. So let's see, preview voice.
You have selected Microsoft Zira as the default voice. You have selected Microsoft
Then there's David.
You have selected Microsoft David as the default voice.
So I'm just going to close that, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an if to basically separate both male and female voices. So I'll come here to an if, and I'll create a new variable called gender, or let's call it voice gender equals, and then if it is male, then we would invoke this method, right? Invoke male voice. And if it's female, I'm going to copy paste, and then in the else section I'm going to say invoke female voice, and then under the parameter here we're going to change from David to 0, and then we can click OK. And then this voice gender, we just want to come up here when we're assigning these different parameters. Okay, it doesn't show. We probably need to come change the scope. So where's our variables? Voice gender, it's a Boolean. Let's just change that to a string and set the scope to the main scope. Now up here we should be able to now access our voice gender. There it is. And I'm just going to type in male, since Eminem is male, right? And over here I'm going to call this assign voice gender, just like that. So I'm just going to collapse this. Next step, we actually need to make the bot speak. All right, so we can use the speak method. So once again, we want to use our invoke method activity, and the target object is going to be our synth variable, and the method name is going to be speak. Right, and here by parameters, the value is going to be our song lyrics, and then I would always recommend you just say .trim, right, just to delete any white spaces, so it just keeps the lyrics, and then we can click OK. So now, after we added the speak method, now it should actually say the words through the speakers of your PC. I'll just call that speak lyrics. Now let me try run this and see if it works.
Look, I was gonna go easy on you, not to hurt your feelings. But I'm only going to get this one chance. Something's wrong. I can feel it. 6 minutes. Slim Shady, you're...
Perfect. So that's working. And it worked with the female voice as we set. So if it's male, then it should assign a male voice as we set up over here. Right, I'm also going to set this in case the person spells male with a lowercase m. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to say or voice gender equals, and then I'll write male like that. All right, cool. So now the text to speech is all set up. Now the next steps is to basically open the song in YouTube. So we can use an open browser activity. All right, I'll drag that in over here. And the URL we want to go to is, let's just test this out. So I'm going to come here to YouTube, and I'm going to search Eminem Rap God instrumental lyrics. Alright, and then we would get this video here. So in order to actually select this video, you could either just use a click activity, or you can use hotkeys. You press tab enter. Tab enter will open the video, and then if you click, let's just see if we hover over this, we can see by hovering over that full screen thing, in the brackets it says F. So if we click F, it will then maximize the video. So let's do that. So also notice here, this is what the URL looks like. It's url.com/results ? Search query equals Eminem plus Rap God. So wherever there's a space in our name here, it literally just adds a plus. All right. So we can actually use this entire expression. I'll just copy that part and I'll paste that in here. Let me not forget my double quotes. Now I can say plus, and then what we want to do is add our artist name. So I'll come here and select artist, but remember our artist name could have spaces in between, and if it's a space, we need to replace it with a plus like it does in the URL over here. So I can simply then say dot replace, and then I can put double quotes with a space, comma, and I'm replacing that with double quotes and a plus, and there you have it. So now it's replaced the spaces with a plus. Then we want to concatenate this with a, let me just put dot to string, just so it's a string. Then we can say plus, and then we want to put another literal plus. So I'll put the double quotes and a plus. Let me just zoom in so it's easier for you to see. There you go. And then let me also open the expression editor over here. Then we can put our song, and not over there, we want it outside our song. Then we want to replace the spaces with the plus again. So I can actually just copy paste this. And then at the end of that, we then want to add another literal plus, and then the word instrumental plus lyrics, just like that. So then we can click OK. So after we've done that, we will then add our hotkeys inside here. But let me just test this out if it's working. I'm just going to close this browser. All right, it's closed, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to say test activity. Say continue. Object reference not set to instance of an object. All right, so I'm just going to click stop here. I wonder why. Oh, the reason for that is because our variables don't have values assigned. That's because we clicked test activity instead of running it from the start. So what we can do is we can just simply put default values for our song and artist. So I'm going to put Rap God here and Eminem here. And let's come here, right click and test activity. Continue. There you go. So it looks like it opened Internet Explorer instead of Chrome. We'll just need to fix that. But we can see here it brings us to the correct URL, just as we hoped for. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to make sure that this is set to Chrome, right? And let's open it in Chrome. So let's come here, and then I want to click the name. We need to make sure that this is dynamic, so you can come edit selector, right? Doesn't even seem to be validating, which isn't good. So I'm going to open in UI Explorer. So let's see, we have our name. I'm going to uncheck that because that's going to be different. Validate seems to be validating. Let's also check the class property just to make it a bit more robust. And let me add a wildcard here for the name, validate that. So this seems to work. Highlight, cool. So that seems to be a good selector. I'm going to Control C, save that, and click OK. Then I'm going to click simulate, click over here, so I can click in the background, and I'm going to rename this to click first video. I'm just going to drag in a new send hotkey, and I'm just not going to even select anything. I'm just going to put F there, right? And I'm also going to put a delay before over here of 1500 milliseconds. All right, so let's see. So before, basically it gives 1.5 seconds for the video to load or to open the page before it tries to maximize it. So let's try this now. Right click, test activity, continue. And there we have it. Great. So that's great. So that works just as we wanted. So I'm going to close that. And then after this opens, I'm just going to give a delay. I'm going to drag in a snippet of a delay here. Let's say maybe 5 seconds before the bot starts talking. All right, so let's test this out. I'm going to run this bot, make sure YouTube's closed. Yes, it is. I'm going to close our UI Explorer, and I'm going to click run. So let's see how our bot does.
Look, I was gonna go easy on you, not to hurt your feelings. But I'm only going to get this one chance. Something's wrong, I can feel it. 6 minutes, Slim Shady, you're on. Just a feeling I've got, like something's about to happen, but I don't know what. If that means what I think it means, we're in trouble, big trouble. And if he is as bananas as you say, I'm not taking any chances. You are just what the doc ordered. I'm beginning to feel like a rap bot. All my people from the front to the back nod. Now who thinks their arms are long enough to slap box? They said I rap like a robot, so call me Rapid. But for me to rap like a computer must be in my genes. I got a laptop in my back pocket. My pen will go off when I half cock it.
Cool, I'm going to make sure I save this. And there we have it. We are now done with our rap bot. So if you want to download this bot, you can check out the description of this video, and there'll be a link where you can download this bot and all the other bots that we built on my YouTube channel. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a like and comment if you have any questions, and I'll be there in the comment section to answer any of your questions. Thanks for watching. Cheers.